That's me. I am the funny YouTube guy, as everyone seems to know me as. I'm from Central Pennsylvania. I am 26 years old. I've been a coach for about a year and a half now. And I'm at that crazy stage. This might surprise some of you. I know a lot of people see me as this top-ranking superstar coach that's earning thousands of dollars every hour, and it's amazing, and it's all smooth sailing for this guy. But I'll be completely honest, I'm in this weird stage right now where I'm going from diamond to emerald, to diamond, back to emerald, to diamond, almost to two-star diamond, back to emerald. And it's this crazy cycle, and it'd be really easy for me to get distracted and discouraged by that. But I guess it's just another lesson. It's a teachable moment here. Like, looks could be deceiving. What someone is doing doesn't mean they are smooth. It doesn't mean they're necessarily smooth sailing. It doesn't mean everything's perfect for them. It doesn't mean it's all like, oh, he makes great videos, so he's obviously just blowing this business up perfectly for himself, and it's so easy. Be encouraged. We all have our struggles, including me, including Lindsay Matway, including Lindsay Stagg, including everybody else that's in the Bombshell Dynasty and in Beachbody. So be encouraged by that. But I got started with Beachbody all the way back in college. I was a broke college student. I was a trumpet performance major at Penn State. Where are my Penn Staters at? Whoop, whoop, we are Penn State. Can't hear you, but I'm assuming you were shouting that out. I got started with P90X. It was my sophomore year at Penn State, and I was so poor at the time, I actually had to sell a bunch of crap that I didn't need anymore to buy a burnt copy of P90X off of Craigslist. I know, burn me at the stake. But it changed my life. It totally dramatically changed my life. It changed my health. It changed my fitness. It changed my self-confidence. I got abs back. It was awesome. I felt like I was in shape for the first time since I was a competitive swimmer a long time ago. And it was awesome. It was exactly what I needed at the right time. And it's kind of funny. You would think, okay, well, he got great results, and it naturally led into him becoming a coach. But what happened was my coach invited me to be a coach. I had signed up with him. You're probably wondering, well, you don't have a coach because you bought it off of Craigslist. Well, what happened was I wanted to try Shakeology, so I signed up with a coach randomly for the free Shakeology sample, never intending to ever buy anything from him. I was a cheapskate. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that. But he invited me for 3 years to become a Beachbody coach on his team. And for 3 years, I said, no, not interested in that. I don't want to be a slimy salesperson. My morals are too good for that. I don't want to be involved with a pyramid scheme. I don't want to get involved with a salesy, crappy thing that, nobody's going to want to have anything to do with. And I had like this mental battle going in my brain, like, how is this company coming out with such fantastic products that help people so much with their health and fitness, but then they have this slimy back door that people walk through that's like this sales opportunity thing. And it was honestly just my lack of education. I had no idea the opportunity that I was saying no to. And I became a coach. Finally, well, okay, I'm jumping ahead here. There's two things that came up in my life that sort of woke me up to the Beachbody opportunity. And the first one was my finances. When I was in college, I was poor. I was broke. I was renting out my apartment on football game weekends to just make some extra dough, which was completely against my contract, my rental contract. So I would strip my bedroom bare of all my personal belongings and shove it all into a closet and lock it, and then hand the keys over to some random stranger and cross my fingers and hope they didn't trash the place and I get some money in return for it. And that would hold me over for a little bit. But after the football season was over, I was so poor, I actually ended up selling blood plasma at the local blood plasma clinic to pay for my groceries. I would do that twice a week. I'd earn $30 each time, and I'd have $60 a week for my groceries, for my gas, for my car, for everything. And it was terrifying because, first thing was I was too lazy to go out and get a job. I was just too lazy. I was scared that I couldn't manage it, and I just didn't make things work. And, you know, the lady at the plasma clinic, she asked me one time when she had just stuck the needle in my arm and started drawing the plasma out. She's like, "So how's life going?" And I was like, really? I mean, did you have to ask that? I don't feel too proud about what I'm doing right now. And don't get me wrong, donating plasma is a great cause. Great cause. It helps people, saves lives. But for me, my heart wasn't in the right place. I wasn't doing it to help other people. I was doing it because I was too lazy to go get a job. And it was like the only thing that I could do to get quick money, aside from like, never mind. And then, so that kind of scared me. Like I realized I had to do something with my finances. I had to make money somehow. And the second thing was, after I got out of college, I started serving at a restaurant, and I hated it. Anyone that's ever been in the service industry understands this. Anyone that's been a server or a bartender or a busser or a host or a restaurant manager or whatever, you know how thankless of a job that is and how stressful it is. I was actually just talking to one of my coaches a couple of days ago about just the anxiety and the panic attacks it can create in your mind if you don't handle that kind of stress well. And I did not handle that kind of stress well. I got to the point where I would my blood pressure would go up so high on busy nights that I would get pulses in my necks and bloody noses. And it was just bad, unhealthy. And I had a customer, I hated the job. And I had a customer that came in all the time. She was very obese, morbidly obese. And she would sit at my table, and week after week after week, several times a week, sometimes she'd come in and order food with her husband. And she'd come in for week after week, and she'd request me, and I kept serving her all this terrible food. And at one point, her husband came in alone, and I was wondering, what's going on here? Why is he alone? They're always together. They're always together. And then the next week, he was alone again, and the next week, and the next week. And I finally found out that the woman had died. The woman had passed away due to obesity-related health issues. And that shook me up. I know it might sound dramatic to you guys, but this is how it struck me. It struck me as, Caleb, you just helped feed a woman to death. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, Caleb, you can't blame yourself. But when you're in that situation, when you've been putting food down in front of them that you know is killing them, but you're pushing the sales anyway because you're just trying to make tips off of these people, and you're like, oh yeah, the fried shrimp's really good because it's on sale, you should try it. And they get 2 plates of it in one sitting. And then she dies later, and I realize, oh my gosh, I contributed to that. I did that. I was part of that. I was a factor that led up to her passing away. And it shook me up. It broke my heart. And I realized that, you know what? I am not being the person that God created me to be. I am taking people away from earth instead of building people up and giving people something amazing. So I finally made the decision. I'm leaving the restaurant. I'm going to work on this business. I'm going to go become a Beachbody coach. And I'll tell you what, as soon as I became a coach, I felt like I could be the real Caleb, me and all my beautiful self. I could be me. I felt like I finally had stepped into the purpose that God had planned for my life all along, and it was awesome. Loved it. Unlike, my job at the restaurant or my jobs previous to that, that I hated and the lifestyle I was living before, I could take this business opportunity that we all have here and wrap it around me like a warm fuzzy blanket and make it my own and thrive just by being me. I can go, and you guys are probably laughing, but that's me. And it's amazing to be able to grow a business doing that kind of crap. It's awesome. And that sort of leads us perfectly into tonight's topic. We're talking about, let me switch the slide here. We are talking about creating a brand for yourself to ultimately attract people to you like a magnet. And I'm super excited to talk about this because it was literally within the past couple months that I kind of figured this out or discovered what my brand was. It took me a year and a half to understand this or get it. And I'm certainly still growing and still making, decisions here and there that are big changes for my business. But I think I'll be able to give you a couple of nuggets tonight that might help you guys figure out your brand. And if not figure it out, it'll at least get you thinking about, developing a brand for yourself and kind of like getting a hold of like where you're going with this business, like how you're being you with your business. So next slide. We're just going to ask a couple questions and go through all this and hopefully get some conversation started in your brain and help you think about this. So what is branding yourself? Like what exactly does that mean? We always hear people talking about branding yourself and finding your niche in the market and making the business your own and standing out from the crowd and being unique or leaving your mark on the world. And those are all great definitions and great concepts. But I like to define branding yourself in a way that kind of speaks to me a little bit simpler. Like I'm kind of dumb. I like things really simple. I like things cut and dry. Are you ready for this? This is my definition of branding yourself. Drum roll. Brrr, being you. And then calling that your brand. And I know what you're probably all thinking, like, you serious? This guy's on the Bombshell Dynasty team call and he is telling us be you and that's it, and we're supposed to walk away from this call enlightened? And I know. Hang with me though. We're gonna try and work through this, and hopefully it'll get the cogs turning and give you some light bulb moments. I think it will. Next slide. All right. I love that picture. All right. So why is creating a brand as coaches or as individual people or as independents, why is that important? Why should we even be thinking about this? Here's what it comes down to. The leaders of this business, or any business for that matter, are constantly taking the time to think about what makes them as leaders, what makes their business unique. Because they have a brand established, they attract more people to them. It's as simple as that. It's kind of like Ford attracting people that want to drive Fords. And Honda, get this, Honda attracts people that want to drive Hondas. We're on some high level stuff here. It makes sense. If you want to drive a Honda, you don't go to the Ford car lot. I mean, everybody understands that concept, duh. But it's the same for us. We need to create a brand that's unique to us, so the people that want what we have to offer know exactly who to go to. It's simple. It's basic. If you don't have a brand, if you're not established, like if I'm not me, you're not going to come onto the Bombshell Dynasty team call to hear me talk. That's how it works. So let's put this in an example that some of you will hopefully be able to understand. If you've been a coach for more than a couple days, you probably are familiar with Lindsay Matway and Lindsay Stay. And this is a fun example. I was thinking about this earlier. Okay, you see Lindsay Matway and Lindsay Stay out there, and they've got the same first name. They've got long blonde hair. They've got, they're both women. They're both on the Bombshell Dynasty team. They're both successful coaches. But despite all of those similarities, they stand out from each other because they're totally different people. They've developed totally different brands for themselves, which attracts different audiences, which have different interests. Okay, so we're going to break this down even more. Let's look at Lindsay Matway and Lindsay Stay in an even more focused in view. So just for giggles, Lindsay Matway, here's this, and this is just off the top of my head. Lindsay Matway sometimes shares pictures of her beautiful daughter. Great. Lindsay Stay sometimes shows pictures of her handsome son. Not that they're using their children to grow their businesses. They're obviously not taking advantage of their children for their own benefit. But it's little differences like that that make those two coaches with all their similarities, very unique from each other. Lindsay Matway shows pictures of her daughter. Lindsay Stay shows pictures of her son. That makes them unique from each other because they're different people. This is so simple. This is such a simple concept, but we take it for granted sometimes. When we're looking at ourselves, we like to see what we do and compare it to other people and think, well, he's already doing that or she's already doing that. Why would I want to share that? I can't do that. You can't take that stuff for granted because it's important to realize how unique your life really is from everybody else out there, even in the most basic details. Check this out. This is amazing. There are over 7 billion people on this earth. I think it's like 7.125 billion people, and it's skyrocketing still. And there's 7.125 billion people on this earth, and God created each one of those individual people totally different from each other. That's hard to fathom. It is hard to fathom that we are so unique from 7.125 billion other people out there. Think about that for a second. I mean, I can only come up with 2 recipes for chocolate Shakeology, and God can come up with over 7 billion recipes for humans. That's amazing. That's incredible to think about. But when you think about that, if you're human, you're unique from everybody else out there. You have things that make you different and special, and that's worth capitalizing on, especially if you're trying to stand out in a business. You have something special to offer. Don't ever believe you don't. It's important to think about this stuff as coaches because the unique things you have to offer are important to somebody out there that needs specifically what you have to offer, not what Caleb has to offer, not what Lindsay or Scotty or Miguel or anyone else out there has to offer, what you have to offer. I'm going to look for intensity purposes right at the camera, what you have to offer, okay? So we're going to move on here. What are some other brands? Okay, so what's an example? What are some examples of brands? Take a look at your life. When you're thinking about examples of brands or when you're thinking about your brand, take a look at your life. What makes your life your life? And again, we're on some high-level stuff here, but we take this stuff for granted. We need to actually think about this. Maybe you have a dog with a crazy personality. Maybe you have a Christian, maybe you're a Christian and you love sharing your faith with the world. Maybe you're a pilot and you like flying planes and helicopters. Maybe your dream is to build financial freedom so you can live a life of giving. Maybe you love escaping into the woods up at your cabin. Maybe every single time you play the Body Beast cardio DVD, you have an emotional breakdown and start crying. Maybe you really like to share normal life in a twisted way that makes people laugh. Maybe you have a sense of humor. Maybe you love inspiring and encouraging people. Maybe you like to spend hours upon hours upon hours in your dark, musty basement making YouTube videos. Do any of these things sound familiar? I really hope they do, because that's my brand. That's Caleb Thomas. That's me. The things that I do every day on Facebook and on YouTube, that's me. That's my brand. That's who I am and how I'm putting my stamp on this world. It's so ridiculously simple. And yes, someone else out there might be a pilot. Somebody else out there might like making YouTube videos or whatever. But because I've combined everything into this awesome Coach Caleb super sauce soup, that's what makes me stand out. That's what makes my brand. That's what makes me unique from everyone else out there. Water break. It's dry in here. Okay, it's good. It's good. And that this concept of taking everything that we do, like all those branding things that I just talked about that I listed off, that's me. It's kind of like a combination lock. You've all seen those combination locks. Like here's your combination lock, and you have like 10 different digits on there, and you can twist the dial to the right number so the numbers all line up in the perfect thing. And if you look at one of those individual dials, you recognize all the numbers on there. It's either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And then back to 0 again. You just keep spinning around. And you look at those individual numbers and you think, well, I've seen those numbers before. That's nothing new. But when you string all of your numbers together on that combination lock, it makes a combination lock. It makes it special. It makes that lock actually work. And that's unique to you. You have that password. You have that combination, and nobody else does. Like, you have those combination of characteristics that make that lock work. That makes, oops, I just got highlighter all over myself. That makes you unique. So think about it like that. You know, you have a perfect combination of characteristics to make you perfect for what you are, to make your brand exactly what it needs to be and what it's supposed to be, because it's you. And going back to my brand. So, okay, so you're asking, how does this tie into Beachbody? I've taken that brand, and did you notice I only made one quick mention of anything Beachbody? It was the Beachbody Body Beast cardio thing, and that was just kind of a joke. But I take all of my brand and all the things that make me Caleb, and I strategically inject little hints of Beachbody in there. Like, do you see any Beachbody in the picture right now? Oops, wrong side. See, I'm wearing a sweater. It's as simple as that. You know, I could be flying a plane right now. Be like, hey folks, flying a plane. And they'd see, oh, Caleb's wearing a Shakeology sweater. I wonder what that Shakeology stuff is. It's so cool that he's flying a plane right now. You know, it's those little tiny influences just like that that I want to encourage you guys to think about. You know, integrate Beachbody into your brand. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit here, a little bit later. But okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide. Teach me, Jedi. The next question is, all right, Caleb, how do I create my brand? And I know you're all thinking this question. You're all asking this question right now. Okay, get to it, Caleb. Just tell me how to create my brand, and we'll get off this call, and I can go watch TV. This is super simple. Lindsay gave me a super easy topic to talk about, which I'm forever grateful for. Thank you, Lindsay. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't overthink this. Don't overanalyze it. Branding yourself is as simple as being yourself and living that publicly and showing people that. Even if you think nobody, and this is the thing, even if you think nobody is going to want your brand because in your eyes and in your mind, you don't have anything exciting to offer, remember, there are 7 billion people out there. And I can promise you that if you share your life for the world to see and you be you, and you don't try and be somebody else, and you don't try and, fit yourself into a mold that's not you, if you're just uniquely you, unapologetically, with 7 billion people out there, somebody is going to notice you. Somebody is going to be able to relate to you. I promise. There's that many people out there. Someone's going to figure out your combination. Excuse me. This might bum you guys out, but I'm purposely making the decision tonight on this call. I am not going to spend any time on this call listing out things or making suggestions about the kinds of stuff you should be sharing for your audience to develop your brand. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend a single second telling you guys what I think you should do to develop your brand, or even what topics in general to think about when you're thinking about your brand, because that needs to be your decision. That needs to be completely you. And if you take any of my suggestions, they're my suggestions. They're not entirely your brand. They're not 100% you. So take the time to think about this. Just take a step back from your life and think about, what do I do? It's as simple as that. Like, what do I do? What makes me me? And then take those things and magnify them for the world to see. I'm a pilot maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 times a month, which if you divide it among the month, it's not very much. Like that, the ratio of days that I'm a pilot to the days of the month is very small. But when I go flying, I'm dang sure to take a picture with my Shakeology hoodie in the picture. I'm absolutely positive that I blow that up because that's exciting. People buy into that. People see that as a brand. They see Caleb, hey, he's a pilot, cool. Look at that picture. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all those things. So, think about what makes you you, and then take those nuggets and magnify them. Okay, let's see here. Next slide. Bye, Yoda. Well, the next question is, can I just be a Beachbody coach? Can I just brand myself as a Beachbody coach? Yeah, you certainly can. But think about this. There are 200,000 plus Beachbody coaches out there already, and it's blowing up. The majority of them, and I'm guilty of this too, when you first start, the majority of them brand themselves as Beachbody coaches. You've all seen this, and you might be guilty of it too. You see this all the time. Someone signs up as a coach, and they go on social media and they go, "Hey guys, I'm a Beachbody coach. Hey!" And then their Facebook wall goes from being their Facebook wall to being a billboard of challenge packs and sales and click this link and Shakeology and fitness programs and challenge groups and challenge packs and free motivation and the business opportunity. And it goes from being them to being Beachbody. And that's great, and all those things are part of our business, but you need to remember, Beachbody isn't you. It's a part of you, but it's not you. It's the company we work for. When you brand yourself as Beachbody, you eliminate you from the picture. And think about this. When you do that, by default, you are trying to brand yourself against a company that's already created $1 billion brand for itself. You don't even stand a chance coming close to competing against that. They've got it covered. They've got the Beachbody brand covered. You don't need to be Beachbody. You need to be yourself in this business. With Beachbody strategically integrated. All right, next one. We blew through that slide. Sweet. Tips. A couple tips to remember when you're thinking about all this stuff. So when you're thinking about your brand, when you start like creating like the nuggets in your head that make you you, stay consistent with them. Think about these companies: Apple, Mercedes, McDonald's, Subway, Eat Fresh, Southwest Airlines, Delta, Boeing, all these Beachbody, Weight Watchers. When you hear these brands, you know exactly what they are, who they are, what they do, why they do it, and you can expect them to come through with what they're offering. They're consistent. They stick to their guns. Because they've established the brand and stick to it, customers and consumers like you guys go to them to get what they're offering. You recognize that they're being consistent, and you go to them. It's the same for us coaches. Pick what you want to share and stick with it. Don't like put a blindfold on and then go out to the gun range and try and skeet shoot blindfolded, because you're going to miss every single time. Don't just like randomly go out there and be like, "Oh, this is my brand. Hey." You have to be consistent. You have to stick with what your brand is once you think about what makes you you. Imagine if Apple, everyone knows Apple, everyone loves Apple. You probably have an Apple product somewhere in your house. Imagine if Apple one month made phones, the next month they made cars, and then the next month they made toothpaste, and then the next month maybe cotton candy, and then the next month furniture, and then the next month, I don't know, water bottles. They'd have almost no customer loyalty because their brand would be all over the map. People wouldn't even they wouldn't understand what they are. Like, they wouldn't understand what they stand for. They'd be like, "This company's crazy. Someone's smoking something in there." So stay consistent. Number 2, don't discredit yourself. Don't ever believe you don't have anything to offer. Don't ever believe you don't have something unique and amazing to offer, even right from day one as a coach. I lost track of how many times in this call that I've said the word unique, but I purposely threw it in there over and over and over to drive it into your brains. You are unique. I started making videos right when I became a coach. I mean, you all know me from my videos. Most of you, I hope. Go watch my videos if you haven't. I started making videos right when I became a coach. And at first, I got maybe 5 or 10 views, most of them being my mom. When I first shared pictures of Sheila, my dog, I'd only get 3 or 4 likes, and at least one of them was from the breeder that I bought Sheila from. When I first shared my faith on my wall, I'd get crickets. Nobody would respond. Ooh, awkward. Yeah, totally. And it would have been really easy for me to have just like discredited myself and say, "Oh, I don't have anything unique. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Like, nobody's responding. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to do what someone else did. I'm just going to go be Beachbody. That's easy. But I kept doing it. And in time, I realized that I had created a brand for myself. I stayed consistent. I luckily stayed consistent. It was like when the iPod first came out. Some of you may have heard this story. You know, when the iPod first came out, the first year, by all business standards, it was a flop. Big fail. Like, they were expecting to sell millions of these things, and they sold like in the hundreds of thousands. Really, really, really discouraging. But they kept going. They believed in their product. They knew what they had to offer, and they knew it was good and that people would want it. And they stuck to their guns, and you know, they have blown up since then. Apple was a company that's taken over the world. So don't discredit yourself. Be consistent. Number 3, this sort of goes with number 2, but exude confidence. I just made a video about this today. Confidence. You know, how do we create confidence as Beachbody coaches? Hopefully this doesn't offend you, but chances are, if you're human, your self-image and how you act with confidence through it could probably be better. It really could. By human nature, we just kind of like always let ourselves like fall to the negative. And we have to fight that. We have to combat that every day. It doesn't matter who you are, Lindsay, Matway, Scotty, Hobbs, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Deichler. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have a better self-image every single day. Develop that. Do your personal development and work on yourself. If you see yourself as confident and strong and you believe you have a brand to share with people, people will see that exact same thing in you, and they'll follow that, and they'll want it, and they'll respect that. Number 4, remember that we've already talked about this really briefly. I'm just going to touch on this. I don't even really need to spend a whole lot of time here. Remember that the Beachbody brand is fully developed, or almost fully developed. But yours is not. Like, don't make your brand Beachbody. Be yourself. Don't try to compete with the company. Like, we work for the company. We have an amazing company that supports us amazingly, but don't try to be the company. Like, we're part of the company. Don't try to be I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not like speaking in riddles here, but develop yourself. Develop your brand. Don't try to be the Beachbody brand. Number 5, emulate successful coaches. That's awesome. But for the love of Pete, emulate them the right way. Get this one. This is a cool quote. I kind of came up with this one. Maybe I didn't, but I think I did. Don't try to recreate the wheel, but at the same time, don't try to steal the wheels off of somebody else's car. You know, like, don't try to recreate the wheel, but don't try to steal other people's brands. That's not you. I mean, it's not even a matter of like, oh, you stole my brand, you stole my video, you stole whatever, you stole my post. That's not you. It's not helping you. Emulate Scotty, emulate Lindsay, emulate Brittany, Miguel, me, Shiva, all those people. They're unique from each other. That's the thing, though. Don't copy them. There's a big difference between copying someone and being unique like somebody else. So that's it. You know, that's my presentation. What this all comes down to is you got to share your story. You got to share your life. You must put yourself out there. Not Caleb, not Lindsay, not Scotty, not Shiva, not Brittany, not Katie, not anybody else. You. Don't limit yourself. You are such you are such a stunning, unique, beautiful person in all of your perfection and all of your mess. The gooey, nasty, slimy details of your life. Perfect. You are such a stunning, unique person. Beautiful. Everything in your past has prepared you perfectly for this exact moment. It's formed you into exactly what you're supposed to be. Has made you so phenomenally you that it would be an absolute shame if you didn't share that with the world. Like, if you didn't bless the world by sharing you. Like, if you made the mistake of trying to be somebody else or trying to fit yourself into somebody else's mold, it would be a shame if you did that, because you're so amazing the way you are. You know, all Beachbody business and branding and attraction marketing and all this other business talk put aside, you know, my prayer for you guys, I'm praying for you guys right now in front of all you people on this call right now. I'm praying that you guys see and realize how beautiful and incredible you are and how much you have to offer this world. and that you confidently approach everything, your businesses, your marriages, your families, your friends, your coworkers, your congregations, everything, life and everything, with the belief that you have something amazing that can impact the lives of others. You are amazing. You're unique. God designed every single one of you with the perfect combination of tools and talents and experiences and passions and skills and gifts to do great things in this world. He gave you the perfect brand. He made you perfectly you. He gave you the purpose to have an incredibly specific impact on this earth. He didn't just design you to be drone worker bees, just to run around aimlessly and must do work. Hopefully got to get lucky. Hope I get money. Hope I get a good job. No. He created you to absolutely thrive and to lead and to inspire others to do the exact same doggone thing. That's the message. Develop your brand. Be you. I want to encourage you guys. Even if you never even think of the word brand again, just be you. Don't be encouraged by the fact that you are so almost swore. You are so beautiful. You are so incredibly awesome. And remember that. Don't ever forget that. That's all for tonight. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here and listening to me. I mean, it says a lot about you guys that you would come out and listen to this goofball. But I hope you got something out of the call. I know I sure did. I'm sitting here honestly shaking. I'm so excited. I feel like I could cry right now. I'm not going to do it. I'm excited knowing that hopefully just one of you maybe got something special out of this call. Maybe one of you realized that you possess incredible potential and you're a beautiful, unique person. I can't wait to meet all you guys. I hope if you're in Nashville, I get hugs from you. Come find me. And thank you again so much. That's it. I'm going to close my notes here, but rewrite changes. And if you guys have any questions, I'll hang around for just 2 or 3 minutes here. But questions for Kayla. Go ahead. I'll try and keep up here. Oh wait. Oh, okay. Hear you loud and clear. Keep going. Keep being you. Again, thanks again so much, guys. If you guys have any quick questions I can answer right off the bat, please feel free to drop them down. Can we see Sheila? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Sheila. There she is. Superstar Sheila. Sit. Shake. Good girl. That's my pup. That's Sheila. She's the superstar. What video I think I saw what video equipment what do you think the best video you ever made was? Oh boy. That's a tough question. I'm gonna not answer that one. Any other questions? How did you discover your brand and what? Whoop, come back. Should we have Beachbody Coach in our Facebook name? Oh, that's up to you. I like to, I say Beachbody Coach sometimes, but I like to sort of take the Beachbody lingo out of my life as much as possible because, people on the outside, the people we're trying to reach, they might not necessarily understand that. They might not necessarily understand, hey, challenge pack, hey, Beachbody challenge group. They don't quite get that. Hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. And they're like, you coach football? What? So maybe think about taking the Beachbody language out. That's just my opinion. How do you stay so positive? Personal development. Every doggone day. Personal development. I'm just like Scotty Hobbs. I learned that from Scotty Hobbs. If you're expecting to be successful in this business, you must do personal development. And if you're not, quit. I'll be completely cut and dry honest with you. If you're not willing to do personal development, leave this call right now, cancel your coach account and leave. You are not going to be successful. That's as simple as I can put it. personal development is an absolute requirement. If you want to be your true potential, if you want to actually blow this business up, this is the thing, if you want to be a better leader, if you want to lead a 50,000 person team, you have to develop yourself into a leader that can lead a 50,000 person team. And I'm probably willing to bet that most of you do not have that talent naturally. So you have to develop through personal development. Book recommendations. My favorite book of all time is The Compound Effect. That's one of the best ones. The Compound Effect. In my opinion, it's great. Anything John C. Maxwell. Yeah, Dara, that's right. That's a really good one. Personal. I liked Eat That Frog with time management. I liked Lessons in Leadership. I'm reading The Charge right now by Brendon Burchard. That's a good one. Honestly, when it comes to making recommendations for books for personal development, I kind of like to not like tell people what my favorite books are, because what my favorite books are might not speak to that person in that moment in time. So my suggestion would be for you guys, if you're struggling with something like, I have confidence issues with talking to people in public, or I have problems with knowing how to lead my team, or I have time management issues, go into the personal development archives and start researching books that speak specifically to those topics. When I first read Eat That Frog, it had almost no impact on me. I hated it, honestly. But then I started struggling with time management stuff, and it spoke to me. It spoke volumes to me. It was the best book that I ever read, but it was just because the timing was right for that. So yeah, check out books that are specific to your topic in that moment. But I'll take one more question, and I think we're gonna close it up here. We're over 60 minutes right now. Love you, Becca. I love you too, Becca. Woohoo! Yes, you do need to share your personal self more. Is it? Wait, go back. I think that was a really good question. May come back. Hold on. I'm gonna go back and find that. Oh boy, there are so many messages here. I can't really scroll up. Oh, is it okay? Is it? I'm sorry. I keep jumping away. Do you have a video for inviting coaches? I don't have a video for inviting coaches. I have a video called How to Invite Like a Master. But if you just take my script and you substitute in the word coach opportunity instead of challenge group opportunity, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same concept. With that said, I would be careful. I'm always careful about just making cold invites to the Beachbody coach opportunity. I think one of the best ways to attract coaches into the business is to first give them a fantastic experience with the products in your challenge groups. If you're not doing that, you're attracting someone that's really, and this isn't always the case, but what I've found is if I'm making cold invites for, hey, I have this business opportunity, it's fantastic, they're going to come into it treating it like a business opportunity. They're not going to come into it wanting to help people. They may say they are, but they're thinking of it as a business opportunity. And we have to remember our priority number one is helping people, regardless of the business. All that stuff, all the reward, the financial stuff, it all comes with time. Like, I'm still working towards that, but I'm going at this with the mentality of I'm helping every single person I possibly can get my hands on, because I genuinely want to help them. So be careful with inviting people directly to the business opportunity. I'm not saying don't do it. You just have to be very careful about the kinds of people you're attracting by doing that, and make sure that when they come in, they're very clear what this business is, that they're very clear what the priorities of being a Beachbody coach are. So that was really great. I'll take that last question. What editing software do you use? Because I know everybody seems to ask this question. I use a program called Final Cut Pro X, which is exactly like iMovie. It's just the upgraded version. I used iMovie up until just a couple months ago. I can do everything that I do with my current program in iMovie. It just makes it a little bit more streamlined in Final Cut Pro. And I use my built-in webcam to film down in my basement in front of the White Drop. That's all for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm so excited that you guys were here on this call with me. I hope you guys got something great out of it. I love you guys. Have a good night. Peace.